Hey everybody, welcome back to the Capes Cast podcast. I'm Jeremy,
And I'm Ryan.
and I don't have a lot of news today. But the one I do have is kind of annoying, to be quite honest with you. Um, Immortal Thor is ending at 25,
Yeah,
but it'll be relaunching later in the summer with
that's what I
even
was about to say. It's probably going to relaunch as a new number one, and it's going to be doing the Marvel thing,
like,
right?
well, why? Just let him do 50 issues like he did in Immortal Hulk, man. It's
That
stupid.
that just sucks.
You
I hope that
can't do it,
means that
man.
it doesn't. I hope that doesn't mean that Alex Ross is no longer doing the covers.
Yeah, I really hope that he's still doing covers for whatever it
I
comes.
hope it doesn't change the format of Immortal Thor with the text in the beginning. And I don't know. I
What do
just
you think? What do you think the title will be called?
oh,
The Mortal Thor
I don't know. Like it depends on what Al Ewing does, right? Like what if he
or
just makes
Reborn?
Like, what if we just get like purely Donald Blake?
Maybe, dude. That would be kind of interesting, actually.
Because I feel like Al Ewing always goes back to basics, and he you know what I mean, does
I
like.
mean, it's possible because like
I mean, it did it. Is it?
Blake has
Did
been
it
kind of
say that like Al Ewing will be still like continuing to write it?
yeah, he's still writing it.
Okay,
And
that's
then there's a
at
new
least there's
artist.
that.
There's a new artist coming on for issue one.
I mean, that's fine. I mean, Basil Duo was great. She wasn't
They
bad.
do, yeah, they do fine.
Mhm.
I'm not I not to like dig on them, but like my one complaint I feel like compared to like Kokolo
Oh
is
yeah,
their art feels like kind of flat in comparison.
of course, yeah,
And maybe that has to also do with Matthew Wilson's colors just being so like on point, but
yeah. I mean, but Kokolo's just another.
already a great artist. Yeah.
Yeah, he's really another level. He's
Yeah, it's really, really tight. But whatever, man. I mean, I guess
I
there's
mean,
nothing
we got
wrong.
25. I guess we're lucky to get that, but
I
it
mean,
just
he's still got more in the tank, so
yeah.
at least it's not over yet, I guess is kind of
It
what
just
I'm
sucks
like.
that, like the immortal Thor is ending because I was really happy that like an immortal like Al Ewing's doing the immortal thing again, but it's with Thor.
Yeah,
And it's like now that's ending, damn it. Like
yeah. It's kind of a bummer, but I'm just glad that he's gonna keep going, I guess at the end
yeah.
of the day. And I don't really haven't seen much from the artist that's taken over. Justin Greenwood.
Mm-mm.
So I don't know. We'll see what happens. He's doing art for the last issue, 25, like part of it.
Yeah.
Um, and then I don't know, man. I mean, they're gonna break my bank with the variants, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm sure it's gonna be a whole event, for all we know, like Thor's gone, so Mjolnir's gonna go where, and
Magni, dude.
huh?
Magni.
Yeah, I mean that'd be cool if we got a Magni. That'd be cool. I'd be
And I
down.
was saying this a while back, and like, granted, this wasn't how I was suggesting that they do it, but killing him off for a period of time, whether it's 3 months, 6 months, however long, and then letting Magni take over and Amora kind of
Yeah,
work the
because we're gonna
plan.
have to see Amora's plan unfold, right? So
Yes,
see that happen. So
yes. So at least if that ends up playing out the way that I hope it does, then yeah, that'll be cool to see. And then Thor will obviously come back and be like, "Rah, you can't do this. It's my
yeah.
power."
I think Utgard Loki's too cool of a design of a character to let go to waste right now. Like
Yeah,
he's too rad.
I it makes me wonder what like the next level up is like if Thor is reborn into something more
Yeah.
powerful, it's probably going to be the case.
Because there's so many seeds that were planted that haven't been touched on yet. So
Like,
there's no way
right.
to say.
So I'm curious to see if maybe Thor is going to start like punching up if when he's reborn more powerfully. Like if he
Yeah.
starts to start like contending with, you know, and like I think about other characters that have gotten boosts recently. Like you've got Jean Grey. who's gotten a boost recently.
That's
You've got
Storm.
Storm,
Yeah.
who got a boost. You've got Scarlet Witch, who got a boost, and she's about to encounter the powers that be.
Yeah.
And she's like a really heavy hitter right now.
Miles got like a weird boost too. Like
Yeah,
he,
Miles is stronger too, but I mean, like as far as like the cosmic hierarchy goes,
yeah,
like in Thor is a Skyfather level being now.
yeah,
So he's a protector of basically an entire corner of the universe.
right.
So what
I
happens?
honestly hope that they like the next series really plays into like Utgard Loki playing with the narrative,
Yeah,
and that's why it's changing. I really hope it's something meta narratively like that.
which that
That
kind of
makes
stuff
sense.
that kind of stuff tends to be anyway, like in some way, shape, or form. But
Yeah,
like, I don't know. To not And I think I'm sure Ewing will probably do it in some way, but to not touch on like the mythology aspect of it, and like I just really need him to bring back those who sit above in shadows. Like that's like one of my big asks this entire run has been seeing them again.
yeah,
And the last time Thor died and he hung himself from the tree, he was reborn and he got the Rune King powers. So like yeah, I just give me that, dude.
yeah,
Like give me that stuff, like something even cooler. That's what I'm trying to say.
yeah.
Okay. I guess it makes sense now, especially like I have to go back and find the interview to recall like for sure, but I'm pretty sure Ewing had said like obviously Ross designed like the outfit and the whole like lightning being the shading and is a very like integral part of like creating kind of Thor's look.
Dude, this whole cover run has been insane.
Yes. And if I remember right, Ewing said like halfway through or about halfway through, I don't know if he gave a specific issue number or not, that Thor would have a redesign and that Ross designed that one as well.
Okay, well that's good at least.
Marvel being Marvel, it does kind of make sense that if he is getting a redesign, why wouldn't they put that on the new number one and slap that bitch onto literally every variant by every
Yeah,
big
yeah.
artist
I
that
was
you
about
can
to
think
say
of?
the variants are going to be insane for
You
that.
know what I mean? Like now that I'm thinking about it more and more, it's just going to be like new Thor design. Here's a design variant. Here's this sick ass variant. Kokologi, since you were the original Immortal Thor artist, you get a variant. Justin Greenwood, you get three variants because you're the new art. Like it's gonna
Simonson,
be.
always Simonson, you get one. Yeah,
I'm in, dude. Like it's gonna be bad, but it'll be cool, I guess. I'm just like I wish just do like I don't know, man. Like you could, it's fine. Just do a 26. I don't. It's no big deal.
Right.
Whatever. It is what it is. Moving on though.
Yeah.
That was like all the big news, man, because I was like thinking about it all week. I'm like, this is kind of shitty, but
Well, there's also that whole thing of like the Radiant Black crew, what they're doing with like the
ooh, Immortal Legend Batman.
yeah,
That's
that's
right,
pretty
yeah.
cool.
They're doing like the Sentai style Batman
Yeah,
and
it's
Robin's. It'll
pretty
be tight,
cool.
dude.
Good for Higgins, man. Like, yeah,
Dan,
that's
yeah, Dan Mora's doing the
it
design.
totally feels like Power Rangers, which is
Oh,
like
what
so big.
that's obviously what it's inspired by, and like
Yeah.
them doing the Massiverse are the perfect people for it.
Yeah, but I mean, even Dan Mora's covers for like Higgins' run for
Yeah,
Power Rangers were fantastic. So to see them working together again for like this new
yeah,
Batman thing, I'm like, this is
it's gonna be
I
tight,
can't
dude.
wait to get it. I can't wait to get it. Like,
August, I think, is that it comes out, right?
yeah, yeah,
I'm excited for that. It'll be good.
yeah. Me too. I'm excited, especially because
Um,
like everything's designed by Dan Mora. He's not doing the art, but he's doing the
yes,
covers, and everything's designed by
and
him.
he's doing the backups.
Oh yeah, and he's doing the backups. Yeah,
Um, there was
it's gonna
something
be
else now that I'm thinking about it, but now since you brought up Immortal Batman, now I can't remember.
Mm, my bad.
No, you're good. I mean, hey, more talk, the better. You know what I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
dude? Yeah. Let's get into books.
yeah.
What do you want to start with?
Yeah, I was about to say, what do you want to start with?
The Absolute Batman or Ultimates?
Let's go with Absolute Batman. What'd you think about this issue, dude? Like,
Um, I mean, honestly, I don't
what'd you
feel
think about the art? because
I
I feel
liked
like
it. I
once
thought it
again, I feel like once again this was just like not really a fitting
not for you.
like yeah, yeah. I feel like it didn't really fit. Um,
Um, yeah, it was fine. I mean, I had no complaints about it.
I
I
mean,
don't
and I also felt like this was a very dialogue heavy. Like this was one of those Scott Snyder issues that's just very tell, don't show, tell.
yeah,
Yeah.
I I like how Matches Malone is his own character.
Yeah, but that's so weird. It felt like they just kind of shoehorned him in. We never saw him like in the portrait, you know what
Well,
I
like thinking about it, do you think that maybe he was the kid that Thomas went back for?
Oh man, I never thought of that.
You know,
But
I
that was
was
a pretty brutal picture. That was a pretty brutal page of
yeah, the bacterium
basically
and
we
everything.
see like matches like we see that Bruce basically wants to go into Arkham, which is basically
Yeah,
that
Arkham, yeah, the like black
yeah,
site being built out there.
yeah, out there. And basically we find out that Matches Malone went in there and basically
Yeah,
went
like because
undercover
they
for
do
like
like
a
this
week.
whole like setup with like how Matches was kind of like the one that like they would play this game where they would throw a light, like they would light a match and throw it, right? It was that was it, throw a
Yeah,
light match.
yeah,
There's the matchbox, and he would always throw it like he would always land on there on purpose because he wanted to do the dare.
right.
And then he just got the nickname Matches Malone.
Yeah.
And um, yeah, his inclusion was a bit like sudden, but I thought it was interesting.
It was very like, like tongue in cheek. It felt so similar to me to like the Uncle Ben, like Ben Riley thing, where it's just like, oh yeah, it's like,
Yes. No, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I kind of agree with you there.
yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was fine. Like it was kind of like he was like a means to an end. He allowed Bruce to get his way into Arkham, or like to kind of like get his like first clue in
Yeah, and then we
to
find it
him.
and we see him like bleed from like every like pore of his skin and
Yeah,
like and
God,
like that
yeah,
was a
definitely.
crazy image. And like we find out that basically it's not for it basically was from like an old bacteria bacterium whatever thing.
Yeah, from like for like ancient, it
Yeah,
seems like.
like prehistoric like virus that was in
Yeah.
ice more or less.
But yeah, and then like you have like obviously the like this plot building where he's like trying to find these clues to like get his way into Arkham, but then you
Mhm.
also have the like the rogues and them like approaching him at like
Yeah,
Matt
and basically like questioning
funeral.
like the authenticity of their friendship. Like,
Yeah, because he's like, hey man, like he's like, oh, you said basically saying like you didn't want us to be a part of this, but you did all these things and asked us all these questions and involved us in all these ways, and
are you
you're not
just using
gonna,
us more or less, or are you really our friend? Like, or are you just
yeah,
you?
like, are you gonna let us help you? Are you gonna let us figure it out? Like, are you gonna
Yeah,
like, yeah? So like, I like
I
if
really enjoy that.
do you think he's gonna continue to push them away?
I think some of them,
Who do you think will stick around?
Croc,
Okay,
him and Waylon have been great, like really tight in this.
I was gonna say I
They
feel like
butt heads, but like it's always like love with Waylon. It seems.
I feel like at the like unless something tragic happens and it turns like Waylon against him, I feel like it's not something that they can't resolve with like a literal
Yeah,
fist fight and then be
they
done.
seem to be the closest out of all of them.
Yeah,
Because they even mentioned like it's like Harvey's pretty pissed at you, and it's like considering how you're not in jail yet, and blah blah blah, and like Cobblepot was already pretty annoyed and frustrated with them, but like Croc was like,
yeah.
Waylon was like, hey, like hey, I'm pissed at you, but let's
Let's
talk
talk it
about
out though.
yeah, let's talk about this, man. Like, so I really like that. I don't know, I really like this Bruce Wayland
Yeah,
connection, this a lot. I think that's really cool.
I yeah I think it was a wise move to let them like to keep them kind of like a tight-knitted group throughout the years.
Yeah, I do think some of them will be enemies. I do
Oh
think some
yeah,
of them will be
like
very
we'll see them like
complicated
kind of like
relationships.
mirror their main universe counterparts at some point.
And I think that some of them will just be more complicated relationships where there's like love there, but it's like,
Kind of like
they have to play the
yeah,
game.
they feel burned a little bit too.
Yeah. And, so, but I do feel like it's not going to be all of them. I feel like some of them will still stay with Bruce. I mean,
Yeah.
so, but I really liked it. What did you think about the Victor Freeze twist? in
It's
this.
cool. It's fine. Nothing crazy.
See,
I mean,
because
it was
there's like
cool.
a thing like Scott Snyder did this in the New 52, which is really weird. He had this he did an annual issue in his New 52 run, and it was basically a origin for the like New 52 Mr. Freeze, and it was weird. It was like weird. And basically what he did in that one was he made Nora Freeze like his like it wasn't his wife, it was his mom,
Hmm.
and he was like obsessed with her on some like Norman Bates type.
Okay.
It was
I
really
I feel like this sounds vaguely familiar.
yeah, that was basically New 52 Mr. Freeze, and it was like what the like Scott Snyder of course just went like horror with it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. I mean, because he was coming off stuff like witches and other things.
so that's what he did. So it's like to see that here where it's like, oh, Victor Freeze Jr. is in this, and it's basically Victor Freeze Sr. and Nora that are frozen right now.
Yeah. And
And
yeah,
he had to get frozen because he had like a condition that and it saved his life, but it also looks like
mutated him.
that bacteria or something like melded with him somehow, and
Yes.
he can like stretch
Oh,
and like
bro.
become this horrific. Uh,
No, bro. You can't be joking me.
what's that? I hate it when that happens, bro. I hate it when that happens, bro.
Dude, that's tragic,
I
dude.
hate it when that happens.
Oh, thank you, bro.
Oh, you're good. Did it leave a
Wow.
crease? The creases are the worst.
No, man.
You're good.
What?
Because I hate it when that happens, dude. I hate it when that happens. I'm like so mad.
I was about
And
to
the
just,
creases on the spine too. Those just get me too.
I was about to blow a gasket.
Mm.
If it would have messed up my book, dude. Oh, yeah, I want to talk Ultimates. Okay, but last thought about Ultimate, Absolute Batman.
This was an okay issue.
Yeah, it was cool. No big notes. I mean,
It just
I
feels
like.
like a pit stop in between like the next Dragata
It's
continue.
not really the design that the promos were kind of putting out there.
Yeah, Dragata's depiction of this looked way different, right?
Not just like a stretchy icy man.
Yeah.
Like
It
he
looked like
kind of,
Mr. Bloom from
yeah,
Snyder's.
he looked like an actual monster. So like maybe we'll see a further transformation. I don't know, but it was not the same.
Yeah,
Whatever, man. It is what it is.
it's okay.
It was
Dark
cool.
Patterns continues to be the best of the.
Oh, Dark Patterns is good. We'll talk about it in a few minutes.
Yeah.
Dude, like Ultimates was a
In Ultimates, yeah,
dude.
Ultimates.
Like I bought
Oh,
Twilight.
that's dope. That's dope.
Yeah, I got it
See,
twice.
I only wish that like Marvel would adopt the Marvel thing or the DC thing and put the
Yes,
normal cover underneath the
or like the card stock even.
yeah.
Like I would pay extra dollar, honestly. I think for some
I think
variant,
the cardstock thing with the cover underneath is a way to go. You get the
yeah,
variant and the
kind
cover.
of did
Like
be
you
a
get
little bit
cover
better.
A and the variant like together. It's
Yes,
awesome.
yeah. All right. Um, Ultimates.
Yeah, dude.
Uh, it kind of kicks off like Thor and Sif have been like MIA for the last couple issues.
Yeah.
We've been going about doing other stuff. Like last issue was Hawkeye and Human Torch and Captain America and who She-Hulk.
Yeah.
They went around. Maybe it wasn't She-Hulk. I don't remember. But
Wait.
either, who else was there? There was a fourth one I thought. Oh, it was Ant-Man and Wasp. But wasn't it Ant-Man and Wasp?
Yes.
Yes, Ant-Man and Wasp. They go to the Red Skull Gang. The issue before that was I can't. I'm pulling a blank right now. What was number 9? One.
Yeah, I'm pulling a blank right now too.
Because the one before that was
Like every issue with its own thing. That's the Luke Cage one.
yes. You're right. It is a Luke Cage one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which every issue of this series, first off, has been just really, really good.
Yeah.
So it's right there.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't read a bad Dennis Camp book so far. He's everything I've read from him has been great so far.
Yeah, then 8 was Ultimate Guardians of the Galaxy. But
Yeah.
yeah, so it's kind of been like the teams have been scattered, especially since the fight with like the
Oh,
Hulk.
yeah. That broke
So
Tony more or less.
yeah, so then like we've kind of seen like the main team has been doing their thing, but Sif and Thor have returned to Asgard.
Yes.
This is finally what they were doing while they were gone. So for those that don't know, the Maker put Loki in the seat of power when he remade like this universe or made it, whatever you want to call it. And he basically just took over everything and enslaved people and made them just be petty workers. Uh, and so Thor and Sif come back to the Nine Realms to basically give them the promise of freedom. And it's written in a very like Norse,
Yeah.
like prose kind of like poetic way.
Yeah, it like rhymes.
Yes, it's very yeah,
Like every page rhymes, you know. So you have to
yeah,
have the patience for that. Like
yeah.
I at some points I didn't. Like I was just like, "Oh my gosh."
Right,
It's the whole
and,
book. The entire book is that.
right, and every page is just a single panel essentially,
Yeah.
which I think is I think is really nice
It is cool. It is different. It is cool. I've never seen anything like it.
because it really displays for Gary's art.
Yeah.
And then you have like Loki, who's the king now, and he's like just a fat slob of a
Yeah, I
king
thought that was crazy.
because he's just devouring all of the apples of Idun.
Yeah.
And all of the other gods are starving. Like you see, like Fandral and Valstag and Hogan and Carnilla, and like you see all of these people that are begging for the apples, but they're not getting them because
He has
Loki is
like Odin's
supporting
head on a
on his spear. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then you have like Hela has control of Valhalla, and she's cursed all these people into servitude. And then
It's crazy how
you
the
got
Maker could affect Asgard even. It's insane.
yeah, exactly. And then the Maker has like the people from his people from the hand.
Yeah.
Um, that's what they're called, right? It's like but it's like not the same hand,
It's
right?
not the same hand, no.
That's just the acronym that they use.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's like reteaching the light elves, and then like then you have like the Vanir gods who have kind of stayed out of it, and they've been allowed to keep their freedom. But then, uh, Thor and Sif, it kind of explains that they've always, like in the main universe, they've had this thing for each other.
Of course. Yeah. No,
Kind of
I
getting
love it. I
down.
love this. I love this thing. I love this like version of them.
Yeah. And then they're like, kind of getting down under the tree.
Mm.
Thor leaves, and then he comes back after she wakes up, and he's like, his right arm is smoking, and he doesn't say anything. Then they beat the hell out of some ice trolls. Then they storm, and then while that's happening, Loki goes to Jotunheim to like see what's going on, and then Sif storms Asgard and
Yeah.
saves everybody that she can. And then the loyal, so like the Warriors Three and Heimdall and Tyr all come, and they've rescued Idun, and they're hiding out in um, Niflheim in like a hidden cave.
Yeah.
Loki's pissed, and then he's like, and then the Vanir finally realized that Thor was right, and they should have taken him up on his offer because they end up in chains because Loki feels like he was too lenient, and he's
Right.
going to start tighten his grip on everybody. Uh, Thor rallies the troops. This is it's like obviously the way that I'm telling it is very just page by page, but like the way that it's written is very like it it's like a song,
Yeah.
and it's very well done.
Yeah.
And then I think what the there are like two zingers at the end here because you finally see what Thor did while Sif was sleeping, and he went to Muspelheim and he makes a deal with Surtur
Yeah, dude. I thought that was crazy.
and basically just says you can do whatever, you can burn it all down, brother. Like
Right. So
that's fine.
basically Ragnarok, right? Like
Yeah, what I'm imagining is he's basically saying like give me something that I need and you can burn it all down.
yeah, you burn all
Give me your power basically. So I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
And you've got this, second reveal with Tony waking up and he's seeing like looks at Doom. He's like, you need to explain what happened because like how is everybody still alive and I'm alive when I'm seeing this?
Right.
Like,
Well,
what
it's
did
kind
you
of like a
do?
future kind of thing that they're
Well,
seeing.
right, because Doom rewound time long enough to zip them back.
Yeah.
So Tony's gonna be like, "What the hell did you do?"
Right.
And I'm sure it's probably gonna further fracture their already tenuous friendship.
But he's thinking since I did this, I could do this to say the Fantastic Four.
It's slippery slope, man.
Yeah, it's gonna get crazy, you know.
Yep, and I have a feeling it's gonna come to a head between those two pretty quick.
Yeah. And then
Um,
I'm really loving that like Dennis Camp is like, like say what you will about like a lot of team books most of the time, you get like two different versions of them, right? Like you get like it's like you have Batman from Gotham and then you have like Justice League Batman and it feels like they're two different, you know what I
yeah,
mean? Like but in this, like Dennis Camp is writing them like two-dimensionally. Like we're seeing them in the team and then we're seeing them outside of that dealing with their own stuff.
right.
Like it's really cool. It's not just Jed McKay's where it's just kind of like all of them are together in this and that's what you're getting. It's just like all of them together all the time. It's like, this has like always been like issue by issue basis where like having like a spotlight on somebody new. And
Mhm.
and it flows really well and I don't understand how Dennis Camp like does it. Like the pacing's always good. It's always
I, I because they showed off the cover for issue 13, I think, and
uh,
it's Ultimates 3.0.
yeah, it's just a
And
marker with that,
I'm
right?
curious to see if they're going to recruit like a new wave of heroes onto the team. And if they do, who is it going to be?
The Ultimates 3.0. Huh? I don't know.
It'd
Because
be
Miles is
interesting.
coming in soon.
Yeah, with Spider-Man Incursion.
Yeah, but that's Dennis Camp too.
Yeah, Camp and Ziegler
Hmm.
is doing it. Oh shoot, check this out. Sorry, I was putting my books away.
What is that? Oh, that is awesome. Oh, that is awesome. That's One World Under Doom.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's tight.
Who did that?
I don't remember. Oh wait, it doesn't even say. I hold on because it was a variant also.
Yeah, I figured, but that's dope, dude.
Yeah.
Since you're not at the shop anymore, I can't claim posters because they're already claimed. I'm like, damn it.
Hey man.
You always like put me on to like, hey, we got new posters, dude.
Yeah, I know. Hip Twain, man.
It's all good. I don't even think we could fit any more posters on our walls, to be honest with you.
Nick Bradshaw.
Nick Bradshaw. Okay.
Yeah.
That's somebody new. I haven't heard of him. But
He's
hey, that's awesome. I love Doom. It's my
yeah,
favorite
it's tight.
villain in comics, dude. So,
Dude, check out this Hulk variant this week.
oh, that is sick. That's
That's
totally like Immortal Hulk vibes.
yeah, it's tight, bro.
Yeah, that's so
It's
crazy.
really sick. If you
That's
can see
dope.
it better out of the bag, but yeah,
That is sick.
it's so funny. I was like, because the shop ended up getting 3 cases of Adventure Time.
Yeah, yeah, they were telling me that over there. They were like, "Do you want one?" I was like, "Nah, dude, I never really got into it, to be honest with you."
I
So,
didn't either, but then my kid seen it
yeah.
and she was like, "Oh, I need it. I need it."
Oh,
And so
that's cool.
I ended up getting one.
I honestly said that too. I was like, Jeremy will probably get one for his kid.
But then here's something funny. Before we get on to the next couple of books, this is real quick.
Uh-huh.
So we played an April Fool's prank on the shop.
Yeah.
And when I went in to help the next day to fix it, um, I brought her with me. And she was just sitting there chilling, and then she seen a book on the shelf. And she just walked up and she's like, "Who is this?" She's like, "I don't remember." And I was like, "It's the thing." And but then I was like, "Oh, it's the
Oh
ever learning
yeah.
blue-eyed thing."
Yeah.
And then this was the cover that she was, and then she's like, we went in to her
Oh.
book room with me on Thursday, like when I went to pick up my books,
Hmm.
and she was like, she walked straight to it. She's like, "We need to get this now."
That's awesome.
And I was like, "I can't believe this." I was like, "Yes, this is all right, fine, we'll get it." So like, we
And
obviously like,
just for the story alone, that's great.
I mean, you know what I mean? But like, the cover is literally like all she wanted. Like that's all she was about. I thought it was the funniest thing. I was like, "This is too funny, dude."
Oh yeah, and Gods is coming back for a One World Under
Yes, for
Doom
one more,
one
they're doing
shot.
one shot.
I'm
Very
gonna have to
excited for
get
that.
get that. I'm gonna have to get that.
I'm excited to see what Hickman's gonna do in the landscape of One World Under Doom with the gods and
I don't
how
think he's doing that.
he is. He's writing it.
He's writing that?
Yes,
Oh, I can't wait. I cannot wait.
it's gonna be tight, dude. I'm telling you.
I've wanted more Gods. I love that. So yeah, I'm
Yeah,
definitely gotta get that. I usually say I said I'm not really gonna get the tie-ins because I'm following Fantastic Four already and
but that's a time that's worth it, I think.
Avengers, but
Yeah.
yeah, I gotta get the Gods one, dude. So,
Um.
but yeah, the Dark Patterns,
Yes, dude.
dude. This issue was great, like always. I mean,
Why is it so good, man?
yeah, dude, this is like so dark and brutal.
I
Like,
love this book, dude. I just
yeah, this was so
never
dark
read
and
it.
brutal. They
I
fixed
love
the
it.
whole Wesker mistake. It's not it's not Albert Wesker. It's
He's
Arnold. They
associated.
fixed it.
Here's what they don't realize is Albert actually helped fund Arnold
That's true.
buying the the Bled Towers. So they're owned by Umbrella technically. So
Yeah,
it's fine.
technically. Okay.
Technically speaking.
Okay. That's how he ties into this.
Yeah.
But
See, Dan Waters is thinking outside the box here. What we don't realize is he's connecting universes here.
yeah,
And WB is about to buy Capcom, right? With the money they don't have.
right. So Batman is in this giant Scarface puppet building, and
Yes.
he basically figures like, hey, I gotta go to the brain of this. I gotta go and find the brain. And there
Right.
you go, and you find out ventriloquist is there, but they cut his tongue.
Yeah, that was a trip. I was like, oh
I was
shoot,
like,
okay.
oh no, like what? That is crazy.
Well, like here's the thing is like from what we understand is like it's Arnold who's like crazy and Scarface manifests as his other personality. But in this, it's kind of taking on more of like a supernatural take, where it
Yeah,
seems to like kind of possess other people,
yeah,
which I think is interesting, all in all. But
yeah. Nobody really can do anything with Scarface, so the fact that somebody's doing something cool like this with him,
yeah, I also like, dude, there's so many like just iconic looking panels and pages in this,
yeah,
bro. Like when because it's basically just him like trying to find his way to the brain of the building, right?
yes,
And he's going up the floors and he's like facing different obstacles. And like when he's like he talks to the lady and her daughter,
yeah,
and they're very much like, oh, like understanding, but they're like, we're basically screwed. Like we can't really do anything about it. So they just like accepted their fate. But then as he climbs up the building, you have all these like iconic panels of him like ninth, 10th,
yeah,
of like him like doing like spooky Batman stuff where I'm just like, oh, these are so cool, man.
yeah,
I just love it. Hayden Sherman's art is just perfect for this.
yeah. It's
Just
it's awesome, dude. And I don't know, it gave me a lot of like the Metal Gear Solid vibes where like you have to climb the communication tower, it's like 30 floors, and it's like
yeah.
Batman having to like listen to like somebody's walkie-talkie to like find out what floor he's on, you know what I mean? And it's like, oh shit, this is like really cool. Like not even that, just like the whole like you're making Scarface really interesting. Like I'm very much interested to find out who he taught.
Well, the vibe I'm
We kind
getting
of
is
see it. We
it's
kind of
kind
see
of like if it is supernatural, he's kind of jumping from person to person because this Rickson guy seemed to be doing it in
it.
part one. Then Batman slammed his face and broke the puppet. So and some of the dialogue seems to point to the fact that maybe it was housed in the puppet, right?
Yeah,
When it breaks, that's like kind of like it like the personality disappears, it leaves.
yeah,
So maybe if it's a supernatural take on it,
yeah. It's like
you know,
possessing
when
other people instead
right
of
when this Rickson guy's puppet broke, there was another one, and it just ended up finding its way to his wife
yeah.
or the spirit or whatever it was, or the personality. You know, like I'm sure there'll be an explanation for it, but
Right.
I don't know. It's very interesting. Like has like a bit of a supernatural take, but it's also like very like
It's the perfect Batman. It's like perfect for Batman. Like perfect. Like
I keep saying like Batman with like just a touch of supernatural is like it's just
it's
great,
the
man.
best. Like though that's where like the best like 90s like those early 90s like Elseworld little trade paperbacks that they came out
Yes.
back then like those that's what all those were. It was like, hey, like here's some supernatural Batman. Like
Yeah.
it's
Like it
fun.
doesn't even have to be like straight up like blatant like vampires, werewolves, magic,
No,
you
no.
know, witches, you know, it doesn't have to be that. Like it's stuff like this that I think is very cool because it really toes that line between like it's what makes Gotham kind of a scary place.
Yeah.
Kind of gives it that mystique. Like and this book is doing a really
Yeah.
damn good job of it.
It's the perfect Batman book and
Yeah,
yeah, I
I agree.
totally ate my words with Dan Waters, and I'll be reading a lot of everything he does from now on. So
Yeah.
because he really impressed me here. This is it's hard for me to say like what my favorite Batman book is when you got like Mark Waid doing like World's Finest, you got like all these other things, but like Dark Patterns just like nails everything. Like it just like checks every box for me of like
Dude,
what
I'm
I want
telling
in a
you,
Batman book.
like, and as like as somebody that used to like literally like basic, and not that I like Batman more now, I think,
Yeah,
than I used to. But like this book is great, man.
yeah,
Like for me, like I feel like for somebody like me to be like this is one of like the probably the best Batman book. Because one, because I'm reading it consistently, and two, I think it's just genuinely one of probably DC's better books.
yeah,
Like it's just really good.
yeah. From beginning to
Everybody's,
like both cases have been great so far. I can't wait for it to finally be done. I kind of want to binge it all at once it's
yeah, I
finally
know.
over, and just kind of see how like all the three cases kind of like stack next to each other, how it flows like all together.
Do you think it'll be released in like? I was thinking about this. Do you think maybe they'll do like case by case by case by case, like a trade paperback,
No,
like
no,
box set?
no.
Could you imagine? Oh, dude, I would buy the shit out of that.
I would too if they
Just
did do
okay,
that.
just imagine this. DC, if you're listening, here's an idea.
I think they're
Release
just gonna
this
give it a
series.
bigger trade. That's what I think.
Release this series in four three-issue hardcover trade paperbacks in a box set similar to the way that you did Batman One Bad Day.
Yeah,
Do that with just the four cases because it's going to be 12 issues, four cases.
I just feel like it's just gonna be like a 12 issue
I
trade.
know, but DC just throw me a bone here, man.
Yeah, I would
I'll
love it
probably
if they
pick it
did
up.
something special for it because this is like a special book. This feels.
Imagine like special like Hayden Sherman cover art for each one.
Mhm. Like this
Oh,
feels like 90s Legends of the Dark Knight continued, and
bingo, dude.
I just love it. That's it's
And like we
perfect
were
for me.
gushing about it last time we talked about it. It kind of like just has that like Tim Sale vibe sometimes.
It does. It does. It has that like just like cartoonishly otherworldly spookiness that like
Yes.
only a few people could like pull off well writing
Yeah.
Batman. And that's like Gotham should be this like Gotham itself is a character.
Yeah.
It's a main character for Batman, and it's a living thing. It's this looming spooky place. So
Yeah, and I mean, this book has done a really great job of like making it feel that way.
yeah,
Because like, I mean, one, obviously you have like literally with a building kind of coming to life, but
yeah,
then you also have the previous arc where it was, you know, he was very much in the city and through the city and kind of the wounded man was very like on the move.
yeah.
And so he was having to navigate these places and
That's such a good
it,
foil because it's like Batman just punches everything, and it's like that's like one thing Batman just couldn't punch.
yeah.
So it's like I thought that was brilliant.
Right. And it was a really good way to I think like kind of showcase that he's not here to just show that Batman can beat your ass. He's
Yeah.
there to show you like he can still he can outsmart you.
Yeah.
So I think that was a really smart move is to start with an arc like that where he can't punch his way out of it because he knows 120 plus forms of martial arts and he'll just kick your ass
Right.
faster than you can blink.
I mean, essentially, all you got to do is just nail the whole like. It's basically like it's like a mythology like Zorro book at the end of the day, and if you could just nail those like certain motifs and the certain vibes for it, like you're gonna hit it out of the park every
Do
time.
you think
I
part
feel
of
like
the formula isn't necessarily writing Batman the right way? Is it more so writing like the supporting cast and framing the story the right way?
yeah, yeah. I mean, Batman books should be detective comics. Like
Because it like sometimes
it
I feel
should be
like
a
here's the thing
detective.
is like I feel like a lot of people write Batman in very different ways, like across different books. But like and it doesn't really bother me all that much as opposed to some other characters. I don't know. And maybe because I feel like with Batman you kind of you have this
See, you're speaking of more like the Justice League Batman. You're
I
speaking
mean
of
I
like, like that type. This is like bare bones going back to basics, where
right.
so
I just mean like in Batman in general, like I like there are even some versions of Batman that I've seen in the last couple of years where it's like he's very abrasive and very like just kind of like I don't give a shit about you.
yeah.
But like and I like some characters I'm like okay that's out of character but with
That
Batman sometimes
usually is like mainline Batman though. Like
like
they usually
right
put
like sometimes I feel like people at least in my opinion and it doesn't really mean a whole lot because again I don't give that much of a shit about Batman but like to me it seems like part of what makes Batman so versatile is you can kind of play with his personality a bit in the way that you can't with other characters because of how long he's been around, how many stories with him have been told, how many genres he's kind of dipped in and out of. But you also have like all of these influences, and I feel like part of him is like this, what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of like irregularity with his behavior sometimes.
yeah.
I don't know. So I
He's
think people,
insane. He's a madman.
that's a good way
You
to
know
put
what
it.
I mean? So like he's at the end of the day, he's a madman. So I mean, it fits, he's got like a damn near other personality that comes out every once in a while. Like,
Okay,
so,
when you put it as bluntly as that, yeah, absolutely.
so
Write him however the hell you want at this point, I guess.
yeah, so it,
As long as he's not surviving a fall from the moon again, I don't care. Doesn't
yeah.
matter to me.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit.
I'm just really looking. I'm actually looking forward to what Matt Fraction does. I feel like that's going to be an interesting take.
Yes,
Uh,
sir.
you
I
know,
agree.
I trust Matt Fraction with it. Oh yeah, Hulk, dude, this was pretty wild.
Oh,
So,
good.
so basically, they get tricked in this.
Skinwalker. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's kind of like a
See,
spoiler.
because I thought, dude, I was like, oh, like Clea's in this. This is cool. This is a
Yeah,
cool
I was excited, man.
crossover.
I was kind of pissed when it was kind of like the reveal that it wasn't actually her.
Yeah.
But it is kind of like a cool
So
trap.
do you think the end of this, do you think that that's not really Thor?
No, it's 100% Thor because the next issue is them fighting. They go to Asgard.
Or is it oh, okay, they go to Asgard. Okay.
Yeah, they're
But
about
isn't Doctor Strange in Asgard right now? So
yes, makes sense.
does make sense.
Is that well, it's definitely Thor because they're fighting next issue and it's a big
That was
point.
basically saying, is this another trick, more or less? But
See, like no, I don't think this one is. I think it would be silly to do the back-to-back trick because I'm pretty sure he even says like at the end.
well, this should be interesting, especially if like if, Phil Kennedy Johnson keeps up with continuity. It's like, hey, the last time we saw each other, we fought, and we kind of agreed amicably to I was going to pretend that you died and let you go
Yes.
your way instead of killing you.
Yeah.
So this will be cool to see him kind of catch up.
The only thing I'm not I don't really care about this issue that much is the art, to be honest. Like Kev Walker's fine, but it just, I mean, not really, I guess not really a lot happens in this issue anyway. But it was, I don't
Yeah,
know,
I
it was
thought it was
fine.
okay. Earl's is a
Is it?
lot better than, than this. I like Earl's, when Danny Earls, I think is his name, right?
Or
Uh,
Trey, Danny Earls or Travel Foreman when he's on.
Foreman's great. Yeah,
Dude,
Foreman's.
this would have been a great issue for Travel Foreman, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, no, like I think his Clea looks really good. I'll give him that.
hmm I mean,
Yeah.
it's just more of Hulk, breaking out of things where they're like, "Hey, Hulk can't come out in here," and it's like
Yeah,
you
they're like,
can't
here, we're
contain
gonna
Hulk.
trap you in
You
this
can't
place that you
contain Hulk.
definitely can't get out of. But then it's just like you have like this stupidity of these low level like creatures that are just kind of like, hey, look what I did. We did it. We ate him. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And then she was like, what the hell do you mean? Like you weren't supposed to eat him.
But
And
that
then
just
it
means
was
like
like,
there's
yeah,
like like the god flesh of Hulk now is like eaten by all these people, and now it's
right. But like another thing too is like they don't realize that he's able to pull himself back together if there's even the slightest piece of him left.
right.
So when they took him in the drawing room and they were supposed to just leave him there,
Yeah.
they just ate him and all of the pieces weren't fully digested inside of them. So he just ripped himself right through them all and ran
Exactly. It's very like it
immortal.
harkens back to that like Immortal Hulk issue with the jars, right?
Yes.
Instead of being in the jars, they're in the monster's
Yes.
stomach,
Yeah. I thought it was a really cool twist on that. Yeah, that kind of like reference to that. But then, yeah,
Yeah.
then you have like kind of the main chick in charge. She is very like much the head, like the one who's working for Eldest kind of directly, and she had drank the blood of Thea
Right.
and got a bit of the what are they even called? I can't even think about it right now. Whatever Dormammu's race is.
Okay. I don't know.
I'm pulling a blank on it right now. Yeah, and then it's like Hulk finally pulls himself together. They fight. It's really just a quick fight. She just, he just beats the hell out of this chick. And then, yeah, and then the issue ends with Thor showing up.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited for the fight with Thor. I'm especially excited to see how Philip Kennedy Johnson's going to write him next issue.
Is it Klein next issue?
Yeah, I believe so.
Ooh, that's gonna look fire. Klein, right? Like drawing Thor fighting. That's gonna look
Again, man,
fire.
yeah, since Kate's,
That's gonna look fire. Yeah, I can't wait for that.
yeah, I'm excited. Let me check for sure though.
What else do we got to talk about? What else is there still?
We don't have to go in depth about it. I just wanted to show off some of the bits of Storm.
Oh yeah, please.
It was incredible, dude.
Because yeah, I'm hearing nothing but great things about the series. I'm
Storm,
probably just gonna get the trades for him then, because
yeah. Nick Klein, yes, incredible. Okay, Incredible Hulk number 25. Incredible Hulk versus the Mighty Thor. Bruce Banner and Charlie's search for Doctor Strange now points towards Asgard. But when the gateway opens, the way is blocked by the Odin Son, who recognizes Charlie as a vessel for an ancient and powerful enemy. Don't miss the oversized and most epic rematch in Marvel history. And it's a wraparound cover of Hulk versus Thor. Yeah, it's gonna be tight.
that's gonna be fire. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be really, really good. Cannot wait.
Are you gonna get variants for that one? I'm sure.
I'm not sure. Let me see what variants are out.
Because that, yeah.
You know what? I don't think I will be.
Oh, that's crazy.
I'm just gonna get the main one. The main one's enough. It's cool.
Yeah,
Then fighting. Can't really see it.
and if it's wraparound anyway, who cares? It's
Yeah,
awesome.
it'll be a wraparound. Then it's like I think the Bifrost is on the other side with kind of the rest of Hulk's body.
Yeah.
Cool. But yeah, Storm.
Is
This
it
book
still
is
under one world under Doom? Is she still under that right now?
no, they were in the middle of the X-Man hunt, the whole Xavier thing,
hmm
which that was whatever. Xavier left Earth. Woohoo. Everybody was sad. Woohoo, good. Buzz off, Xavier.
hmm
Like I literally just like I don't know, man. Like I already don't have a lot of like skin in the game when it comes to mutant stuff. Like
Yeah.
I kind of I think I like particular characters over
Right.
the X-Men as a whole more.
I agree.
Not that I don't think it's bad. by any regard. I think I'm very much like character driven rather than like the universe, like that corner of the Marvel
It's
universe.
just a lot. It's
Yeah, it's a lot to keep up with, so I kind of focus on the ones that I really find interesting.
Mhm.
But I just don't give a hoot about Xavier, bro. I just think he needs to be. I mean, I'm
I
glad
feel
he's
like they've
going.
done everything with him at this point. It's
Yeah, I
like,
mean, at least
oh,
Hickman.
here he goes again being bad. Oh, here he goes again being a jerk. Oh, here he goes again and trying to redeem
At
himself.
least he's kind of out of the X-Men's hair for now.
Yeah.
He's going to be used by Hickman and Imperial, so that'll be cool at least.
Yeah, you know Hickman's gonna be doing
Yeah, him
something.
and Lalandra or whatever. But yeah,
Yeah.
anyway, so Storm is one of the characters. I think since Ewing started writing her.
Is that a Momoko?
No, it's Marguerite Sauvage.
Oh, that's dope. That's a really cool
Green
cover.
cover, yes. But it opens up with it says the far reaches of the universe, and like the first panel is some Beta Ray Bill close up. The next is Cosmic Ghost Rider, and then there's Twilight burning and their hands on the ground, and then it's the Silver Surfer, and he picks up the blade and he fuses it with his body and becomes the Silver Surfer Soot.
What?
The Silver Surfer Soot because he imbued himself with the power of the Twilight Sword.
Okay.
So I mean, I guess it's kind of a bit of an odd name, I guess, but it's fitting. Soot, Twilight, Fire, Surtur,
Yeah.
Ash, whatever. So then, like it's you really want to sell me on a book. This is like literally the right way to do it. Like, yes, you beat the hell out of my favorite character on literally the first, like literally sliver of the page, but it's cool. It's a believable Silver Surfer being able to beat him. And then Silver Surfer takes his power and he eventually goes back to Galactus. But Galactus is being chased down by none other than the Black Winter.
Oh, wow. Okay. What
Yeah,
the hell?
still on the run from the Black Winter. But it's really
Oh, it's
interesting.
turning into a Thor book, dude.
Kind of like
Yeah, I'm like, whoa.
I'll just read the beginning part here. Like not the beginning, but it's like the kind of like the narration. It
Yeah.
says, even with both the power cosmic and the fiery fury of Surtur's Twilight Sword, Norrin Rad is one of the most powerful beings in the universe, the Silver Surfer Soot. He has the strength to rip through a black hole cluster, the stamina to battle a pantheon of gods for 1,000 years, and the ability to traverse the vacuum of deep space at speeds faster than light, more durable than diamond, but nevertheless remarkably endowed with self-restoration. Yet this being, whose presence alone strikes fear into the hearts of trillions, answers to an even greater power, Galactus, the Devourer of Worlds. The raging appetite he consumes our entire galaxy, stars, and planets combined would not quell the hunger of this insatiable behemoth. But like it, and then it goes on to like I'll read the next page too. But like it just kind of shows you kind of like this of
Oh no.
one surfer has been addicted answers to another, and then he's like, Surfer, assist me, like begging for his help. It says, the universe plague, the Black Winter, the Devourer of Realms, the Rot Storm, Ender. Enders, before they can reach our universe, must pass through the Oblivion Void. Many Enders who have dared try met their swift end instead at the hands of the most powerful of the primordials, Oblivion, Oblivion, the always been, the always will be Oblivion, the fearsome cosmic Leviathan. So it's like just kind of like as it get bigger, it just kind of like pans out. You have Galactus and the Black Winter, and then you've got Oblivion, Oblivion. It's like this is the shit that I love the
Yeah,
most.
this
So
is
like
crazy.
I love this stuff, dude. Like, and then it takes this it scales everything back down to Storm
Who's
against
writing this?
this. What's his name? Let me see if I can find the Merwaya Ayodele. I probably
Oh,
absolutely
okay.
butchered that. But he did another book. It's like a three-issue indie, but it's kind of like about God and stuff, like a pantheon of gods that he created.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, this book is really cool because it kind of just Storm is kind of dealing with the situation in the Amazon, and it's like this giant serpent that's gotten a hold of super soldier serum.
Oh, okay.
Let me see. Let me see. I'll find the page for it.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, so she's fighting off this snake with Maggot, the mutant. That's like her partner. And it flashes back to like Tony recruiting her saying like, you know, we need the help of a storm god. So here we hired you. So then they're fighting the snake, but then a bolt of lightning hits it because they were tasked with like basically retrieving this this guy's corpse from the snake's body because it ate it. It ate him. And it was like the family wanted it back and he was a good man. And Tony was like, we can't really explain to you why they were out there and why they were working out there and what happened, but I need you to retrieve his body and bring it back. And we think you'll only can do it. So Maggot's like, what the hell, man? Like, we basically came out here for nothing because you just zapped the thing and now we can't get the body because it's ashes.
Right.
And so then you've come to find out that it wasn't even Storm that did it. It was these other storm gods.
Mm.
So you have Mama Ragan, and he's like he rides this like salamander, uh Epilia, but like the designs are sick, dude.
Yeah, dude, this looks like a Thor book. This is crazy.
Yeah, and then you've got Sango,
Okay.
and then
Akuma.
you've got Susano.
Okay.
Like
Oh,
he's Japanese storm god, and then you've got like look at this like Thunderclap here.
okay.
Like this book is so cool, dude. And then you've got Chalk, and then he's kind of like an Aztec looking
That's
god.
dope. So it's like all like the gods of the
The
storm.
different
All
pantheons,
the,
yeah. Like
yeah, that's dope.
this kind of stuff I like. This is what can give me everything I like, dude. Like it's
Yeah,
and then
that's
he
pretty
did like
dope.
this thing called the God Slam on her.
Dang.
Yeah, like it's cool. But like then like she has like a moment of remembrance from Brother Voodoo. He's like, you're a descendant of this like ancient mystical being. And then he's like, what would you do if you had your mutant powers taken from you? And she casts a spell and summons this giant like spirit octopus and just like puts the smackdown on him.
What the?
But then she like cuts her hair and then she's like she like and then she like blasts them all and they like retreat. And then she's like so like tells Japheth, I'm pretty sure that's Maggot. I'm pretty sure that's like what his actual name is. But then she like says like basically like fetch me my armor because she's been using this like specially made armor and like a spear. Like she was doing an X Manhunt, but it's like probably like basically like I think armor that was she was like was forged like with the blade like with eternity or something. I don't I'd have to go back and check for sure, but
Okay.
um and then she's like, I'm basically going god hunting. And then out of like a voice off the side says storm gods in their fury, but Thor must say thee nay.
Mm.
And then shows up at the end to kind of confront her, basically saying like, listen, these are actual gods.
Yeah.
And I'm also one of like I sit on another pantheon.
Yeah, I'm a god of storm. So like,
Yes. But and here's the thing is he doesn't realize that the level that Storm is now at
right.
because of the situation with her being Eternity's Herald.
Right.
So she's got a boost. And especially if Eternity takes over and was I think they even called her Eternal Storm. So like it's very much like he's like possessing her.
Yeah,
And I don't know that Thor is all ready to handle that yet. We'll see what happens. But might get worked a little bit.
that's dope.
But yeah, there's a lot of good books, man. Storm is really good.
Hmm.
Some of the other X-Men books aren't or whatever, but Storm is great.
Yeah. I need
I
to
would
read it.
highly
Heard
recommend
nothing but
Storm.
great things.
Yeah, and the art's been really good. Like Lucas Wernick did the first 6 issues.
Okay.
Just absolutely smashed it, bro. But the guy that's on it now is really good. Yeah, I think it's good stuff. Um, that's about all I got, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Hey,
about
I
it. We
wanted to
talked
talk
about
about
a
Batman
lot of
and
different
Robin
books.
really quick. Phil Kennedy
Ooh,
Johnson.
yes, yes, yes. Yes.
This is probably my favorite issue of it so far.
Yeah.
Uh, the beginning it talks about like, Alfred like leaves like a little, it's like a letter, but it's like
Mhm.
beautifully drawn, and it's like, it feels like a very like old school type of letter, very formal, and with like this kind of sketch drawing on it. And then it goes from that to seeing that Damien apparently read that and basically made a comic book out of it, of the
Yeah.
little moments that are in that, where one of the touching
I
is where basically Thomas keeps going to work and he promised Bruce like something with like his like
right, they'll
paper
make paper
boat.
boats and sail them.
Yeah, and like, they didn't really talk about it because like it didn't end up happening, and Bruce kind of acted like he didn't care, whatever. And then it ended up
Yeah.
happening. He ended up making it happen, and Bruce was stoked. So then you kind of see that in Damien's comic book, the little paper boat, and basically they
Yeah.
made a pact, like him and Thomas made a pact that like if they ever wanted to spend time with each other, they would just leave a paper boat.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Um,
man, this is great. This is great.
yeah, and then you kind of see that at the end with them being next to the on the floor next to the desk.
Yeah.
But also like I know that you haven't really cared much for Damien's characterization in this. Do you think maybe like now that this issue has come out, do you think maybe it was kind of Philip Kennedy Johnson setting up his own like kind of path forward for Damien without having to piggyback so much on
Well,
Williams and stuff?
I mean, he is because, it's in Williamson's run that he basically became an artist and he became like
Right.
a comic book made, he made comic books and
Right, but I mean, maybe so much as like the characterization here with him kind of like feeling younger to you and not
a
necessarily
little
the
bit, a
same.
little bit, a little bit. Um, Kind of, yeah. Because at the end of this is very nitpicky. It shouldn't matter. It's very nitpicky. But at the end of Williamson's run, like the final issue, we see like the way Damien was drawing, and this feels a lot more like younger kid like the way he was drawing everything in this. Like
Yeah.
but at the end of that issue it was very like detailed, like manga
Mhm.
inspired type drawings.
Yeah.
So there is like still inconsistency, but it's like, hey, he made a comic book. That's cool. Like
Yeah.
comic book, not a manga. So it's like, okay, cool. Whatever. But it's really that's like if I'm nitpicking about it, but I thought the writing was just stellar for
Yeah,
this,
really, really good
and
stuff.
the family dynamics and the family themes and
And like here's the thing is like having just talked about how erratic I feel like Batman's behavior is like kind of central to some of the stories that you tell with him.
mhm,
Him getting hit with the poppy or whatever it was,
yeah.
like him like kind of going a little cuckoo like this issue, I was like kind of fitting like because of all the stuff that he encounters, like what kind of after effects are going to happen when he comes out of it. Like is he going to be a little bit more like irritable, aggressive?
I mean, this fool gets like scarecrow venomed like
I mean, like
every other week,
yeah, juice,
like so it's like
juice all the time.
yeah, he's always getting hit with like some fear toxin from like scarecrow every other week.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I really like the angle that this like issue took with
yeah, I like too that like Damien was like, "Hey, I kind of want to be like my grandpa and be a doctor," and I was like, "Hey, that's cool. Like, I
yeah.
like that. I like that."
I and it's like it's nice to see because like at least for me like for the longest time part of the reason why I didn't really care for Damien all that much was he's just kind of a shit.
Yeah.
Like he
Well,
treats
he was
everybody
definitely a brat at
yeah,
first.
he like treats everybody like they're less than him. So
Yeah,
like to see like an actual acknowledgement of him being like I used to think that these people were lesser than me.
yeah,
But I think that like they're heroes in their own right. Like even if they can't do the things that Batman and Robin can do, they're
yeah,
still heroes to everyday citizens. He's like, and that's the kind of hero that I want to be. Like he wants to be like somebody that kind of works that is more in the world and not necessarily like to be like, defending it from the outside.
yeah. And he even says like, "I'm a Robin, and I need to fly. I need to be in
Yeah,
the air. I need to like, and
right.
I don't feel that way. I feel weighed down, and that's something that benefits Batman, but doesn't benefit me." And it's like, Damien's coming to terms and like Being
Yeah.
a teenager is all about discovering, who you are. And I feel like it's fitting for Damien to, have these thoughts while he's learning
Yeah.
about his family and coming to terms with what his dad is and what him and his dad have, you know,
Yeah.
because people forget also that, you know, Bruce wasn't Damien's first Batman. It was Dick, more or less.
Yeah. That's
Dick
true.
was
Yeah.
basically the one that took him out all the time. Like, and
Yeah.
he was the first one that broke Damien in, and like basically
Yeah.
they were like really close. They were the first, like Batman and Robin, like that Damien, that was his first Batman. And
Yeah.
he says basically when Bruce comes back, he's like, don't think like I'm just gonna like submit to you and just like, because I bit what I had with Dick, I built with him. Like,
Yeah.
so
I
it's really
think,
cool to see this still kind of being touched on here, where it's like,
yeah.
it's not just it's a Bruce and Damian story, but it's also Batman and Robin.
I
It's like,
and I think like I remember like thinking back to when Philip Kennedy Johnson first started talking, like leading up to the release of his like start of his run, he had said something like how um like Bruce doesn't really know what it's like to be a son, first off, or to be a father. Like he doesn't really know how to do either of those things. So he's having to learn how to do that. While you have Damien who doesn't know what it's like to actually be a son and under normal circumstances.
and to be in Bruce's shadow. It's
Exactly, right. Right. And right. And then to have to learn about all of this whole other side of your family that, have reached these great heights. Um, so yeah, I imagine it's like a really, really, it's a big power struggle between the two of them. So it's cool that like that's a pretty integral part of this run. And we've seen that like back and forth between the two of them, like even like at the beginning of the run when they were doing like the protection of the Sacred Heart, like the charity event.
yeah.
And then like the little girl died, but how like the whole time Damien is just like, you don't need to leave me behind. Like, and then but Bruce is like sees it differently. He's saying like you need to stay here to protect them.
Mm,
And like even though Damien had failed to save that little girl, had he not been there, it would have been game over regardless, and nobody would have had a chance.
right.
So like these are lessons that I think Damien is learning, and it's cool to see it like kind of gradually happen. And if it steers him away from being Robin, so be it.
Hmm.
But DC status quo will probably drag him back at some point if he does choose to leave
I mean, Tim is still
after
Robin
that.
at some point, so it's like,
Yeah, we have to go there.
yeah, so Tim and Damien are both Robin right now. So it's like,
Yeah,
they don't, yeah, we don't need to go there.
everybody's going to be Robin again at some point.
Yeah, yeah.
Is it weird? Okay, here's something interesting to think about. We are living in has and maybe this has happened before, but all of the Robins who have been Robin are currently Robin in a book or will be Robin in a book that's releasing this year. You have Dick, who's in World's Finest as Robin. You're gonna have Robin and Batman, the Lemire Dustin Nguyen with Jason Todd. You've got Tim, who's currently Robin. You've got Damien, who is Robin.
Yeah, Cassie's book, Batgirl. I mean, but she was Robin though. I mean, but she's even got her own,
Yeah, she's Batgirl.
you
But
know.
that book's great too.
I mean, I feel like I don't know. I feel like
You get a Robin, and you get a Robin, and you get a Robin,
yeah,
and you get a Robin.
because then if you don't think about it, we also have that like signal character that only Scott Snyder cares to
Duke,
write
yeah,
about
Duke
that he
Thomas.
built. Yeah, Duke,
Yeah.
um
We are Robin.
yeah, it's
Let's
it's a
see.
lot. It's a lot. And then
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm
I
glad
just want
like
I just want Jaro back.
another character that only Scott Snyder cares to write,
Dude,
like
absolute
nobody else.
Jaro.
Dude, just like I hope Matt Fraction, if he had fun with Jaro, he could have a lot of fun with Jaro.
Oh, could you like imagine? But imagine Jaro's like grown up a little bit, and he's
Yeah, like
like,
he's in a teenager phase, so
yeah.
he's a little
Imagine he
shit.
brings some of that like sex criminals like swaggers to it. Oh
Just like a
man,
little shit. Yeah.
could you imagine all this little just? shithead remarks that a
Yeah,
teenage Jaro. Oh, it would be so good.
that would be great. Yeah, dude.
Jackson, if you ever watch this, brother, bring him in there.
Yeah, please, because that'd be great. If
Ah,
you
that'd
just
be
had
so.
like Batman and Jarro doing like detective stuff together, that'd be just great. That'd be
But come
hilarious.
on, man. Just let me read your
And Matt
mind one
Fraction would be the
time.
perfect person to do that. He'd be,
Let me read your mind one time.
yeah, if it
Like,
just
come on.
has like that kind of like wit that like Hawkeye had,
Yeah,
it's like that kind of like jokey wit, and
it would just be fun to see him get on Batman's nerves every issue.
that'd be hilarious. Yeah.
That would be
Well,
so
no,
fun.
that's his favorite Robin, remember?
That is true. Yeah, it's like a son. Yeah,
Yeah, it's like his son. So,
that's right. We literally, basically died to save his ass too, man.
yeah.
Oh,
Now
so.
imagine if we ever get a Batman and Robin series of those two. That'd be great.
Dude, do you remember like Oz, people like I would joke all the time during Snyder's Justice League run? They're like, "Where's my Batman and Jarro run?"
Yeah, dude.
Big series. Dude, I would have bought the shit out of a 6 issue Batman and Jarro.
Yeah. And if it was a Snyder, I don't even know who would draw it, but
Put Capullo on them.
yeah, Capullo
Oh
doing
no,
Joe.
Jorge Jimenez. Come on.
Dude, I'm
It'd have
just,
to be Jimenez, dude.
I mean, might as well.
Come on. That'd
Well,
be great.
might
Or
as well.
Dan Mora's Jarro in his Robin suit, dude.
That'd be dope. That'd be dope. But yeah, I'm pretty much done now. I'm pretty much done.
All right, man. All right, man. All right, y'all. Peace.
Later on, guys. Stay safe out there.